Hey everyone, it's Zach with Palantir Research. Palantir gets a mention on Bloomberg's latest article, as well as releasing a new demo today for AIP Advanced Search. Now, the interesting part here, I kind of want to point out that Palantir loaded this as an embedded video first to X. Now, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but when they load content in different ways, like YouTube first and an X post and then maybe a blog post, or sometimes they just go in very different orders, maybe it is a product of first in, first out. I don't know as they get done, but the back of my mind always thinks Palantir is being intentional here about how they put out materials. Maybe they're tracking analytics or customer links or just testing it out and seeing how they get clicked if an ideal is ordering. And then maybe they're testing out each scenario. Or maybe I'm just looking too deep here, but just a random thought that could be important down the line to optimize social media activity. So I can't put it past them to be intentional about these on the details. But either way, it's one thing to have a public resource for folks to reference all the time. But at this point in Palantir's lifecycle, like I've said, driving customer interest to sign up and getting them to a bootcamp for real with hands-on experience is much more preferred over just a passive demo watching. So it's cool for me either way since I track both X and YouTube. And if you're interested in the demo itself, this is probably going to draw some interest since it's about ontology based search and how it can be supercharged with the retrieval and ontology piece here that brings that augmentation for actual context in search. And Chad importantly also mentions in the beginning they show this all the time at boot camps and go over some of the common pitfalls here, so they got that intro hook there for customers wanting to get better results out of AI. So check it out when you have a chance. It's only around 12 minutes long. Then Palantir also gets a mention on a new Bloomberg article here about AI warfare and how it's already here. So they open up with a real life example with the United States Army, but essentially for Palantir's portion, they talk about how AI and how the Army is leveraging this for conflicts and gathering intelligence for the world. And Palantir does get a mention here with their actual name alongside other tech names that they are powering Maven. So check it out when you have a chance. The bigger part of the narrative, in my opinion, is Palantir has continued to get its name out there on the mainstream articles and news outlets like this on Bloomberg, and they're showcasing the kind of applications that they're being used for in a military context, of course. Now, do I think everyone fully knows about Palantir and has everything about it? Far from it. And that's the cool thing about retail investor is that when we are fixated on certain companies, we gather this information that the general public doesn't know about from their demos, at least beforehand. And I showed above the articles like this too. And even if you funnel a bunch of people here hearing about it, it's still filtering out those who will actually take a closer look and even further filters out those willing to even be investors. Now, I'm not saying I want this mainstream article to draw investor interest, but rather the more important part is getting this on the radar for potential customers, leadership, and all those people at organizations that may find interest in this. Some may see this work with the government and their capabilities, and then take a further look there to see what else they are offering and stumble upon maybe their demos, AIP bootcamps, or just signing straight up here and trying to be a commercial customer. So as more and more recognition gets out there and they just get mentioned in these little bits and pieces here, it counts. And it does add up here over time with possibly drawing in a new customer, and it can compound even more with results and possible word of mouth spreading to other organizations. But what are your thoughts below? And I'll see you in the next video.